Go.
Good morning and welcome to episode 1, 5, 2, 1 of Down to Dunk. You can find us on The Athletic and anywhere else you subscribe to your podcast. Go to theathletic.com/down2dunk and get The Athletic for $1 a month for 6 months. I am Luke. Joined this morning by Andrew.
I gotta say, I'm just fired up to be here today. It's pretty cool. Pretty damn cool. Woo!
Slam through.
And Jay.
It's Jay.
Eventually Taylor.
And eventually Taylor.
He's sleepy.
He's a little sleepy boy. Hey, you know what today is?
Friday the 13th.
Yes.
Ooh,
So
spooky.
You know how I remembered to say that?
No.
I was in the car last night, right before Asher's flag football game, and he said, Dad, so tomorrow's Friday the 13th. You think he'll talk about it on the podcast?
Ooh.
Probably.
He was like, I remember the last time it was Friday the 13th. He talked about how spooky it was.
Ooh.
I was like, wow.
That is a memory.
I know.
I don't remember that.
I know. That's what I was talking about. It's great. Okay. Important announcement to all the dunkers worldwide. Down to Dunk Night 2K24 is on Friday, November 8th against the Houston Rockets.
Less spooky.
A little less spooky, but honestly, I was looking for a game that was on a weekend, on a Friday, so people could get there. And
Did
then
we get a lot of people mentioning that, man, I really would love to be there, but it needs to be on a weekend.
yeah,
Yeah, let's go.
here we are.
Here we
Weekend.
are.
Weekend. Get there. And then it's against a team that we all just
Hate.
despise
Mm.
and that we
Yeah.
want them to beat.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a little bit of emotional volatility built in here. You know, they lost to the Rockets in March last year when Jalen Green was going crazy.
I remember.
So hopefully that doesn't happen again. Hopefully the Thunder just destroy the Rockets on Friday, November 8th. But be there or be square. We will have a Dunkers event that we're planning.
Around it,
Around
It'll either
it.
be before or after. Most of the time we've done it before,
but on a Friday night,
but on a Friday night we
Dang.
may do something afterwards.
the after party,
I've thought about doing the FriPod late night live.
I might have to take a nap.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Oh, but also this for your Friday, you won't have to get up
Won't have to get up
so early.
No,
Get to
I'll sleep in till at least 9.
Really? You don't work on Friday?
No, on Saturday. Oh, no, FriPod. I got
Yeah,
you.
no
What you're saying. I
FriPod.
think you said
Yeah, no.
also Saturday morning. I could
Yeah,
sleep in a
you
little
get
bit.
both.
Yeah, I
You
get
get
both.
both. So you should be fine. Kill that thing, please.
Try it.
Thank you. Good job.
I know I missed it.
Oh, you did? Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, Friday morning and Saturday night or Saturday morning.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. What day is this?
Friday.
November 8th.
Friday, November 8th.
What time does the game start?
7?
Is it on national TV?
No,
It should be.
should be. Let people know how
People
much
don't know
better
the hate.
how much better the Thunder are.
How many tickets we get allotted? 200?
Oh, more than that.
Oh, 500?
Whole arena.
How about
The whole
How about-
arena.
How about
Can you
18,000?
imagine the lunacy that would take place if it was just down to dunkers?
It would be
Just
amazing.
dunkers in the room.
We could just about do it. We could just about do it. And I would just request like people just at one point just say my wife in unison
Yeah, and there has to
all
be
around the arena.
also like I think a free throw, like somebody's free throw that this would be like specifically pertinent for, to where it's quiet enough in the room and we're just going, my wife, my wife, my
Just
wife.
do it to Shengun as he's at
Yeah,
the free throw
that
line.
works.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's good. You know when they do the Jaws?
Dun-na. We just go, my wife,
My wife.
my wife. Okay.
That's a good one too.
That's a good one.
But really, when a lot of the stuff they play, my wife sings up great to all of it.
That's true. We just do it to every single song.
I got a feeling.
We
My wife.
I just remember your sister was playing songs in her room when we were in high school. We were all, it was like you, me, Alex, and Dane, I think.
It's an odd one.
And we just sang to the tune of every song that played on the radio. We sang Olajuwon.
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 It was good.
Yeah, we did that.
Are you
before.
older or younger?
Older. My parents came
Just torturing her.
and we're just like, please stop.
Please stop.
It is like 1 a.m. I'm trying to sleep.
And you're just yelling a Olajuwon.
Yes, like, what are you doing? They did not appreciate it. Did not find it funny.
Oh man. I'm putting the link in the chat for Down to Dunk Night. This is the if you're
Killed it.
if you're one of the few people watching here before 7 a.m. on a Friday, you're getting the link before anybody else.
I feel bad.
I will put it out on Twitter today. Get your tickets as soon as possible. We do not get 18,000, unfortunately. So you want to be there or you'll be square.
His fly wife and little fly kids are probably like,
Oh, good job, L, man.
he's never coming home.
You got him. You got him. Okay. Hoops Hype put out a ranking this week.
Was that a ranking?
Are they not ranked?
No, the article was just kind of like a random smattering. So maybe there's an article, or I was scrolling down and
it is more of a random smattering.
Yeah.
I think it is a ranking though, because they get a little worse as you go down.
yeah, except for then there's some dude that drafted, I don't know who it was, but he's like his percentage was 44.
Yeah, but he had to have not been. I mean, how many selections did he have though? Couldn't have been.
Yeah,
that.
but it's per selection. It's a percentage done based on how many opportunities you had.
Yeah. Anyways,
So I didn't mean to ruin it.
It is titled Research. Which executives have drafted the most NBA stars? And so it's interesting, one, because you look through this article, there are obviously names like Red Auerbach and Don Nelson that you know, but there's a lot of names that people wouldn't know because they are people that existed in like the 60s and 70s as GMs. And I don't know how famous was like an NBA GM even in like the 1970s or 80s. Like probably not very famous.
No. I think the oldest one that I knew, other than Red Auerbach, obviously, but he was also a coach, is well, I just forgot his name. Oh my gosh. The guy for the Bulls.
Jerry Krause.
Yeah, Jerry Krause.
Yeah.
Largely because of the documentary.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And then I saw this Eddie Gottlieb guy who was a Philadelphia 76ers GM in the 60s and 70s. And I thought maybe that's related to Doug Gottlieb. That's all I thought.
I thought the same thing.
It's a good thought. As far as modern GMs go, Presti is like the top of any of these guys. The other ones that are even still active are guys that are legends in the game, and Danny Ainge and Greg Popovich. But you look at like the all NBA selections behind those guys, like it's really not even close with Sam. Some of it is that when he got into the NBA, he immediately drafts Kevin Durant. Then he immediately drafts Russell Westbrook and then James Harden.
Pretty great start.
His first 3 years of being a GM, that's who he drafts.
Yep.
That's pretty wild to think about. And
not quite on the, I mean, he did a little bit worse than legendary Pepper Wilson. It was a
little worse than Pepper.
GM of the Royals.
That's the thing about this though. One, there were there weren't that many teams back then, and there weren't that many players back then. Like now, it is the thing that sticks out to me. It is so much harder to draft players in this day and age, and like knowing that they'll make all NBA teams. Like back then, there just weren't that many guys, and there weren't that many teams. So it's just, I think, and it's going to get even harder whenever they do expand the NBA. But to be on this list and to be as young as he is, and to have had as much success as he has, is just kind of wild. Is kind of what struck me as I was reading through this list. I don't know what you thought, Jamon.
Well, I thought I'm really glad they gave the props to Joe Axelson and his 3 draft picks: Tiny Archibald, Phil Ford, and Otis Birdsong.
What would the NBA be without Otis Birdsong?
I do wonder. Is this something that, because of how significant the NBA is comparatively to what it was even 20 years ago, but definitely 30 years ago and beyond, is there's just not a ton of opportunity for guys to have as long of a tenure as some of these guys had.
Without a doubt.
Like the I guess leash on these GMs is so short, because if you're not successful within 3 or 4 years, you're going to have very little opportunity to be successful long term.
Yeah, you basically get to fire your coach.
Yep.
And then if that doesn't
you have
work,
like 3 strings to pull, and then it's out for you, And you've got to hit. You have to hit. You have to hit on draft picks, or you have to hit on some sort of major, trade move. But the way this is, the Hoops Hype article that we're talking about, it's just talking specifically draft picks, because I was wondering, I was like, why in the world don't we have Shea on this thing? It's not, he didn't draft Shea. Having to remember those kind of things is it's, roster construction is more than drafting. But as far as drafting, there's nobody in the NBA right now that has had as much success as Sam Presti has.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. How would they even grade? How would they even grade like trade rankings for the best? That'd be really hard.
That would be another like one that he would be high up in. I mean, really, like transactional stuff, he's done so well, and he's done so much of it. That's the thing, is like he's had, as far as drafting, he's had so many bites at the apple.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then as far as trades go,
it's just getting started.
Yeah. As far as trades go, I mean, he's still like, he makes typically the most trades in the NBA. Like I bet you since his tenure, he's probably been, I mean, because of how long he's been in that seat, I'll bet you he's made the most trades.
No. Yeah. I mean, the only one would be, I guess Pop's not the GM anymore. Like, that's why I was confused why he's in the rankings.
He and RC.
RC Buford's not. So I didn't really know. I've always thought they were kind of like one nebulous person with different identities.
Yeah.
Same person, 2 names.
Yeah, I guess. And I guess maybe Kawhi isn't considered one of his selections.
Yeah.
They traded for him on draft night. I would guess that would count as drafting the player.
Well, Domas is in Sam Presti's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and that's another thing, is that the only players that are considered in this that get him so high up in the rankings is Kevin, Russell, James, and then Domas.
Yeah.
That's it. There's more guys that are going to make all-NBA teams that are on this current roster. Outside, obviously, Shea doesn't count, but as far as like Chet and J-Dub.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I was like so struck. I was like, Shea, did he not make it all? Wait a minute. It was like, oh, wait, yeah, he did. But it doesn't count.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, it's interesting. I did have some Presti all-time draft questions that I thought we could.
Yeah, let's go.
Who do we think his top 3 picks are? Like ever. And not just like who are the best players he's ever drafted, but like, oh my gosh, what a great job getting that guy. Like the Kevin Durant one.
Can we just
can't be the top one?
Sure.
Because he just fell into his lap.
I think it's Harden and Russ, because they weren't consensus where they were picked. Russ was even a reach at that point.
Yeah.
It's hard for me not to say those two. If you're going to like think about who do they draft later on.
Yeah. The Westbrook draft, I remember being so surprised.
Dude, there were 2 different point guards, I think, most of us. I was a DJ Augustine fan.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people were Jared Bayless fans.
I was going to say, Alex and I were Jared Bayless guys.
Yeah.
We really liked the idea of pairing him with KD.
Yep.
And, that draft order, Derrick Rose, number 1, Michael Beasley, number 2.
Super cool.
Super cool Bees. OJ Mayo, number 3, which is wild. And then Russ, number 4. This was a good draft too, because Kevin Love goes after Gallinari, was number 6, who had a really long career. Eric Gordon is still in the league too, number 7. Brooke Lopez, 10. Like this was a
good draft.
It was a nice draft. But I mean, Russell's the best of all of them.
Yeah.
And to get the best guy at number 4 is pretty wild. In the James Harden draft, so he picks James 3rd. Blake Griffin, Hasheem Thabeet goes number 2 in that draft. Tyreek Evans.
I was going to say maybe just like a win in the sense that the Grizzlies drafted Thabeet.
I don't know how true it is that the Thunder had interest in him, but it is terrifying to think about.
Yeah. So honestly, in this entire draft, there's only one person that, and if he would have if Sam would have drafted Steph Curry at number 3,
I know.
that would have been number one, a gigantic reach, but the greatest.
Would it
draft
have
pick
been though? Because like people mocked him as high as 5.
the greatest draft pick of all time?
It would have been, and I don't even want to talk about what would have ensued.
Oh yeah, a decade of excellence.
More than that.
15 years of excellence.
I mean, yeah, because I mean, look what Curry's still doing with the Warriors.
I know.
You know,
Mm. I love it.
Yeah.
I think that this is probably recency bias, but I do think Dub has to be on that list.
Yeah. I was going to bring him up.
They drafted him, what, 13th?
He was 12th.
Okay, so Oos was
11th.
so 11, 12.
Yeah.
I mean,
To get a guy that I would be floored if he didn't make multiple All-Star teams.
yeah, and all NBA.
Yeah. I would be floored if he did not do that. To get him at 12 is really tough. It's probably his best, like mid first round selection. Sabonis, Sabonis has accomplished a lot more than Dub has in his career. I think that Dub will have a better career than Domas. Looking through these, Steven Adams was another really good one.
And the hard part, I know Domas is a good player, but the fact that he only played one season in Oklahoma City is hard for me to count him as one of.
Blame Kevin. He would have been here if Kevin would have stayed. Blame Kevin.
Domas would have been.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm shocked they wouldn't have tried to move him. I guess the Al Horford thing was independent. It was just going to be a free agent acquisition, but
yeah, they were going to have to move Canner.
That would have been real hard. I was just punt him to the moon.
Punt him to the moon, please. Steve-O is another good one. As far as top 10 picks that he's ever made, there's not really been a bad top 10 pick. He's had outside of the top 10,
Campaign was kind of a miss. Cole Aldridge was kind of a miss.
Oos.
It's too early.
It's too early.
Is it?
Packing groceries with your history, man. Packing regional food bank with Andrew Schleck's.
I know, isn't that
history.
weird?
It's
well, I saw the pictures and they'll send these press releases about what they did, and I saw it and it was Chapel Hill United Methodist Church and Southern Nazarene University, they're helping them. I was like, what?
And Putnam City North
Right.
Student Council. You're
and Will Rogers Elementary. What is happening? What is
everything,
going on?
Andrew.
What is going
You get
on
it?
here?
Yeah, I got it.
Anyways, I thought it was interesting. Clearly, this gave some pretty big time props to Presti and what he's done at the draft, and so I thought that was cool.
Yeah, and you kind of mentioned
bringing up.
I wonder, if you were to look at the total body of work in acquisitions, I do think that Sam is going to be up there because the sheer volume.
Yeah,
That, and I think the Paul George trade to send him to the Clippers
yeah,
is one of the best things we've ever done.
yeah.
It was such the right move, and I don't remember what we said at the time, but it was so good. And that's why we are where we are now. It's because that was so good. I think that puts him, if this was a ranking of just his acquisitions and his trades, I mean, outrageous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the way I go ahead.
List. You see the list of all the stuff we've gotten from it. It's whoa.
Yeah, it's still going.
For a guy that's now not on the Clippers.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
whoa.
And they lost for nothing.
The whole
They got
Paul
nothing
George
for him.
Getting him,
Getting him
then trading
and
him.
then trading him.
Both of those
Both
were
awesome.
incredible.
Yes.
That night was one of the best nights to be a Thunder fan when they traded for Paul George.
Yeah, I was in Memphis.
I still just can't believe that was an unbelievable time.
We did an emergency pod. I'm down in my brother-in-law's living room by myself in the dark. And
Yeah.
my wife was like, "What are you doing?"
I said they traded
for Paul George.
It was so fun.
But
It was way more fun than anything that ever happened with Paul George on the team.
yeah.
Yes.
I'm one of the, in my mind, I'm all right, so one of those two trades nullified the Harden trade, and then
Yeah.
made the other one move him to excellence.
Yeah, I think that's right. I honestly think that he undid a lot of the stuff that people thought about with James Harden in 2 moves that involved one player.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
Yeah, because the Harden trade haunted him for so long.
Oh yeah. And specifically because of Tayshawn's here.
In case you couldn't
If
tell.
you didn't know, if you're not watching on the stream, Tayshawn just
listening.
ran through. Yeah. Yeah, I think Bill Simmons had so much to do with the James Harden conversation.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
There was just the Ball Pod did a stream of what is it, the 2013 draft where Anthony Bennett was the number 1 pick and Bill Simmons was on the broadcast. Within like the first few minutes of the broadcast, he brings up the Harden trade. It's just like it's a part of like his shtick, like his narrative there, where he like brings up how the Thunder could have traded for the number 1 pick had they not have traded James Harden or something. I don't know. It was just funny, kind of like taking yourself back there because.
And part of it most definitely still has like tainted Bill Simmons to me.
Yeah.
He also was the Zombie Sonics guy forever and ever and ever.
Yes.
And so I think part of those, they're probably connected.
Yeah.
I think his obsession with how bad the trade was for Oklahoma City was connected to the fact that he hated the reality that they became, that they left Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Yeah.
a lot of that hopefully
Totally.
by now is like, because most of his tone for the Oklahoma City Thunder's
It's positive.
kind of
now.
180'd.
Yeah, it's positive now. Because I listened to a little bit. We drafted some Jets guys in our fantasy draft, and so he was talking about the Jets, and so I flipped it on and like
Jets, Jets.
he even talked about the Thunder within that in like just a brief
They got
conversation.
they got
somebody.
housed
So,
by the Niners.
I know it was not good.
Because I'm house.
The Niners are really
Good
good. though.
morning, Taylor.
I don't know anything.
Dude.
About
they're
anything.
so good.
I know nothing about nothing.
You should.
What do you think?
Can I tell a quick fantasy football story? Is it too much?
Listen,
Permission given?
permission is given.
Yes. Off-season pod. So I am in 2 different leagues, and the second one on Sleeper, I'm on it, and I find out Christian McCaffrey is out like 5 minutes before kickoff. Luckily, I drafted his backup as what they call a handcuff. I think that's what they call it. And I know it's not the most intriguing, but I was down by like 40 points, and I was telling the guy I was playing, I was like, dude, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not gonna win. Me.
Oh, no.
So I swap out McCaffrey for his backup.
Yeah.
Between McCaffrey's backup and the kicker,
Yeah.
I got like 55 points and won my league.
No
won
way.
my game for the week. So
Dang.
that's all I got.
Whoa!
That's my fantasy moment.
No way!
Wow.
Hey, you know how many times I've sat here and had to listen to you all talk about fantasy basketball, which is such an inferior product.
No. That doesn't happen that often. You should have brought up wrestling.
You know how many times I have to sit here? I like wrestling though.
Hell yeah.
I don't
We-
watch it.
All
Or,
right.
don't.
Well, what else?
If
does
this
Luke
were
talk about?
like 5 years ago, I would be playing the Mario theme.
yeah.
Why
Why is that gone? We just can't do it. We don't have the right.
Too many drops.
Too many drops, bro. Too many drops.
Well, then hit me with a Jimmy.
Give me a Jimmy. Jimmy. There you go. You got yourself a
Thank
Jimmy.
you.
Jimmy. Anyways, still props to Sam Presti on drafting guys. Good. Way to go, man.
Good job.
Congratulations. It's only getting better. Nikola Topic will be on that list soon, too.
Airbud.
Airbud.
It's only gonna get better.
Shout out to Airbud. And then when he drafts Cooper Flag in the 2025 draft. Then
I've
we'll
already
see.
forgotten. Daniel Jones, is that his name? Dang it.
I'm not going to tell. No one say a word. Make Jay figure it out.
Daniel Jones is the quarterback for the Giants, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Dude,
It is D. J.
Let's sit in silence, guys.
DJ White.
DJ White.
Shout out to DJ White, who I saw at Kohl's.
Yeah, you texted us a story. You only got one response because it was weird. You said,
There's nothing more humiliating in our text thread than like throwing out something and getting 0 responses. It's like,
I know.
all right. And most of the time, I just assume it's because we're all,
Most
Not
of the time, I think it's
constantly
'cause
on the
we're
phone.
busy, and then we look at it later. But also, it could be the ultimate insult.
Yeah, I don't know. Are you
Sure.
insulting me now? Is that
So
what you're trying to say?
No, I thought it was cool, but I did think, wow, Andrew's really, because what you said you talked to him about was G League trades.
G League trades.
We did, yeah.
So DJ White at Coles, and we talked some G League trades. That's an all-time
Right.
text message right there.
It actually took a lot
cool,
for me
man.
to not make fun of you.
You should make fun of me.
It's just another thing. If Andrew sees a famous person, he's gonna talk to him.
Yeah,
Which is awesome.
Always has.
it's true. It's always been a thing.
I got the picture with Gary Coleman
It's
Yeah.
true. He was
at
not.
the airport.
He was not a happy guy. Gary Coleman.
No, well,
Bad vibes.
But the picture's great.
Bad vibes. Great
picture.
picture.
Is he alive still?
No,
Oh,
he's not.
dead.
R.I.P.
So where do you think he is now?
All right, let's take a quick break. No, okay.
I'm still working my way through the Thunder's draft last year.
Yeah, this you still haven't said his name. Come on. Seriously, Jay?
No, just move on, man, please.
Derek Jones Jr.
Derek Jones Jr. said they drafted Dylan Jones, Jay. Come on.
Dylan.
Okay.
Look,
Dylan. My wife.
Now it's time for some Tayshawns.
John's factoid figuring victory.
Down to Dynamite. Oklahoma City Thunder.
John's factoid figuring victory.
hey, welcome to Tayshawn's Factoid Fickery Dictory. I'm Tayshawn. This is my Fickery Dictory. Do you guys like Lord of the Rings?
No.
Yes, I love it.
Are you watching Rings of Power?
No.
I'm on about my 80th rewatch of Desolation of Schmaug.
You are Desolation of Schmaug.
I'm a huge Schmaug guy.
Schmaug.
No.
That's the Plagues of Egypt season's new name.
I
By
didn't
the
even
way.
see the
Here-
That's right.
I never saw the third Twin Towers. Isn't that what it's called?
No, Return of the King.
The third one?
The second one's Twin Towers.
two
Yeah,
towers.
Two
Two
towers.
towers.
I
Twin
never
Towers
saw
is
the-
9/11.
I never saw the third one.
Which was
Return of the King.
yesterday.
The Desolation of Schmaug.
You should see the Return of the
days ago.
King. It kind of helps.
Yeah, it kind of
story.
pulls the whole story together.
I know, maybe, and I'm not, but okay.
It's
Dude, I
funny.
love-
It is funny the things that Luke decides that he enjoys.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
Because to me, you'd be all over Lord
Because
of the
he acts like it's so like he's
Oh, so nerdy.
so
Yes.
dorky
Oh,
or whatever.
100%
It's not
right.
dorky.
You're so right.
people can like Lord of the Rings. That's fine,
Okay.
Yeah,
can
we
like
know.
but it's just not for me.
How?
Okay.
My question is, how is it
Because I'm
not
not
for you?
gonna. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm just not.
It doesn't fit in like
Doesn't
you not liking Lord of the
Taylor,
Rings
it helps
does
if you
not
if
fit-
you stand up.
Oh, okay.
Didn't-
And then, yeah.
I'm just not into it. I've never watched. What's it called?
Okay, man.
Never watched Game of Thrones. Never. Not a Harry Potter guy. Just that stuff's not for me. I'm out on it, and it's okay.
Oh, you're too cool
I'm out.
for Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter.
But go ahead.
Jay,
Did I?
can't
Was I
do you.
yelling?
Desolation of Schmaug.
Yeah, definitely.
Last week?
Yeah,
God,
definitely.
Both were
Yes.
yelling.
Yeah.
I didn't say.
Give me a little PTSD, honestly.
I didn't say
What?
dog crap 10 different times.
I know, but you were kind of mean to Luke.
And guess
I did apologize after it was over too. I was like, Luke, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, baby.
here's
Please,
the thing.
please forgive me.
Here's the thing. You know
I
what my
never meant
job.
to
You know
hurt
what
you.
my job is arguing. No one's gonna out argue me.
Also, you know what happens?
But I'll try.
But Jay will try.
You know what we saw? We saw two strong alpha males disagreeing, and that's just what happens.
Yeah, that's a
When
welcome
two
to the pod.
alphas
Welcome to the pod.
bonk their
That's what it
noggins
is.
together.
So are you enjoying?
Rings of Power?
Yeah.
I freaking love it.
Really?
I really love it. And also, this is like the Star Wars stuff. You know, people are like, I didn't like the new movies because blah, 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 blah. But then if you're not really into Star Wars and you watch the new movies, they were cool. They were great. They were entertaining. They were
Yeah.
fun.
I've
You're
actually-
still in that world.
Anybody I know that really liked the original trilogy of Lord of the Rings, they didn't love the Hobbit stuff, but they've really enjoyed the stuff on Amazon.
Yeah, I like it. But the orcs do have babies.
Who are the main characters?
You would know them. It's like a totally different
would-
timeline.
No, you would know it. Galadriel. Do you remember when Frodo goes into?
What?
It's Kate Blanchett's character.
Yeah. Remember the
That's the only one though. It's like not Aragorn, not
You
hobbits.
would know Elrond. Elrond led the
Hubbard.
elven army.
Yeah.
Scientology.
Hubbard. What did he do?
He founded Scientology.
Oh yeah, same guy.
That's how old he is. He's an elf.
Oh, you know. I'm sorry.
Oh, Sauron.
Yeah, Sauron. Heard of him?
Heard
Yeah.
of him? I'm not sure you heard of him.
I do know Sauron.
Is there a question coming?
What
in
about
all of this?
Gandalf? Is Gandalf in it?
Gandalf.
What about Schmeagol?
What
or
about Saruman?
Gandalf is in it.
Gandalf?
But not Victor
Saruman is not.
Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo Mortensen. Wait.
That Always Sunny clip. Viggo Mortenstein. God, never mind. If you don't know that clip, it's not really worth it. My gosh.
Is there a question coming at
Yeah, is there a
any
question?
point in this, or is
Yeah.
it just
Who do you guys think is the Lord of the Rings in the history of the NBA?
I mean, Bill Russell.
Oh, that's a good one. Andrew?
I'm pretty sure they actually have called him that.
Oh, Andrew?
I would say the person giving off the most Frodo vibes is Steph Curry.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What about who's the Sauron?
who's Schmaug?
Who's Schmaug?
What is it? I don't know.
Schmaug is a dragon.
Smog is a dragon, man. Voiced by Benedict Cumberbatch.
Schmaug.
Always a tricky last name.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you have a like? What was?
That's
Where were you?
John.
Where were you headed?
Who is the Lord of
He
the Rings?
derailed you. Where were you headed?
Let it move.
All right. Now it's time to
You
get
were
some.
done. You just wanted to spend a minute talking about it.
I just am really into Rings of Power.
All right. Now it's time to get some advice.
How long are the episodes?
Hey, y'all. Someone reached out to me to get some advice, and they said they're getting married next month. Happy wedding. For the married men on the pod, what's your best marriage advice? And for me, what's your best advice for not getting divorced? Best marriage advice. This is someone going in, jumping into the deep end of mirage.
Yeah.
Why don't you start, Luke?
Mirage.
Here's the thing that I think best advice for not getting divorced: communication and trust. You gotta be, if you break that trust, that's the bad thing. And that covers a lot of stuff. So that's what it is. So that's what it'll be. A lot of communication.
Somerset.
Talk about everything. So go, guys. Marriage advice. Hit them with it.
Luke, why do people, from what you see, so it's you say
What are you-
communication that feels so
Broken trust.
Broken
but that
trust.
covers a lot of things.
Right.
Like
Like, are you talking not just infidelity,
What are the
well,
main
trust
things?
is better. Like, can you trust them not to cheat? Can
but
you
just
trust them-
not in, like
to-
not exclusively.
Can you trust them to stick to a budget and not spend money inappropriately? Can you trust them to take care of your kids? Can you trust them to not drink and do drugs? Can you trust them
What's
to
the
not do
primary
drugs?
thing you're seeing that is causing divorce?
That. I mean,
Just in some variation.
in some variation of that. It all comes back to that, is that you can't trust them to do something. And so that, for the most part, is, I mean, that is it, really. And then it's just variations of that. Maybe, but I've seen everything. So, you know. So what's your guys' advice? Best marriage advice?
I'd say like just trust your partner.
Yeah. Don't cheat.
Great.
Don't do too many drugs.
Watch Brings Power together.
I mean, I have real advice.
Well, look, hit him.
So
Don't hit them.
you're making
Don't do that.
You're
Number one.
making
hit him with this advice.
here on your wedding day, you're making some sort of promise towards your wife and towards others. And if you believe in God or a higher power, to
You
God
are
as
God.
well. And so for me, I always try to say, like, the covenant of your marriage should be the thing that sustains you when your emotional connection maybe lags. We live in a world that is constantly telling you, like, it's got to be rainbows and butterflies and blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, truthfully, like, a lot of marriage is not that.
Yeah.
So some of it is the intentional choosing of your partner, kind of even in the hard moments, instead of walking away. And part of the way you do that is by remembering the promise that you make towards one another. And it's not sexy and it's not flashy, but it is this just truth of, like, and some of this is my context specifically, my world specifically, but it's just the way that you can kind of, like, choose faithfulness in that, regardless of what kind of the ebbs and flows of the seasons of the moments might be. That's kind of my overarching. But then, I would say more specifically, communications, learning how to be assertive and not aggressive is the one thing I teach a lot of people. Something that I'm still learning in my relationship. How do you communicate what you need, what you want? How do you communicate well how you were hurt? Like if your feelings are hurt, how do you communicate that in a way that's more constructive than destructive? That's a really challenging thing. It's where a lot of couples where it's like we never learn how to talk well to one another.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another one.
I, not you.
And then cultivating your friendship. Like that's the other thing is if you're friends with the person that you married, then it makes life easier.
Yeah.
Nice.
So date your mate. Date your mate.
Date your mate.
Marry someone hot too, and it makes all those things that Jay said a little bit easier to at least look at.
Yeah. If you're gonna be miserable,
If you're gonna go through rough patches, at least have a little eye candy to go.
yeah.
Am I wrong?
God, Taylor.
I mean,
Good. We have a thoughtful answer from Jay. Taylor.
I would say just
Am I wrong?
work on being selfless and being a servant to your partner and to your family. Like if you can do that, it will make things a lot easier. Like if you can take the focus off of yourself and have it on the well-being of the people around you and like what you can do for them, it will everybody will start to behave in that way. So I think like that to me is what I would say. Because a lot of times it's always about like, well, my needs aren't met, my self-interests are here, there, whatever.
No, that's
if you can make it more, if you can flip that in your own head and model that, especially for your kids, I think like that is something that is helpful.
And the other thing I'll say is like, if you can have these, and Luke, this maybe, I don't know what you would say about this, but as much as we try to have all of these conversations before you go get married, like have conversations about kids as much as you can about parenting, as much as you can about finances, as much as you can about all of those things, because what you don't want to do is get into your life together and then be like, oh, you don't want kids, or I want kids and I want 3 kids, you want 1 kid, or then oh, you don't know what a budget is, or you spend frivolously and I hold on to money too tightly. It's like get all of that garbage out there before you even step into the marriage itself.
Totally.
Yeah, and there's only at least you can start those conversations, right? Because
you don't learn until you do it, for sure.
Until you're in it. But have this mindset. Try to be hot. Try to marry hot. You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be just fine.
I would tell Taylor to talk more into the mic,
but his advice is bad. But so don't necessarily do that.
Be hot, marry hot. Solves all your problems.
Okay, let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll do some Twitter questions. And we're back from that quick break. It's time for some Twitter questions.
It's
You got questions and you ask them on Twitter. Now we answer them for you. This is Twitter questions. Now let's get down to it.
Now for Twitter questions. But last week when you played Twitter questions and Tayshawn's Factoid at the same time, and it like kind of started working.
I know.
It was very strange.
Let me try it real quick.
Kind of started.
Tayshawn's Factoid questions.
There's no Tayshawn's.
You got.
I'm trying. It's not.
Well, I didn't listen to last week's podcast. Normally I re-listen just to see how we can
Was it because of your heated argument?
1 billion%.
You didn't want to hear it?
I was like, I just know how cringed I would be at myself the whole time.
Because I went
First
back,
thing you do, you're like, I need to go back on YouTube and watch this whole thing.
I went back. I've listened to it probably 10 to 15 times.
Oh, Luke.
He's a student of the game.
Well,
Jay.
I don't get.
So Andrew sent out a clip of it to the whole, I guess it's the same one you used online, but
No, there was 2.
he sent one out to the text group and I was just like, I left the group.
It was good.
Marry hot, be hot.
It was.
That's how we stay together.
Can I critique your argument?
Clearly not.
Not your argument. The way you argued.
No, we're not going to get back into this.
No. We're not getting into the argument, but
That's
the way you argue.
Yeah.
You set yourself up to fail because you started telling me I didn't know anything about it, and then when I did, like I said, well, like, oh, it seems like he does know about it. Then it takes your position. It's like, well, he said something and that's wrong.
Was that, what do you call that? Ad hoc? No, what's the fallacy it's not straw man, where I was attacking the character versus
That's
the actual
ad hominem.
argument. Is that on hominem?
Yeah, I think that's correct. But that
Well, you're an idiot and you suck.
great.
You don't know what you're talking about.
But that is what I would say, because you did that, and once
You
you
don't know
did that,
anything and move on.
but once you did that, I was able to
You
say,
don't
like,
know
oh,
anything.
I do know a little bit about it, and then it's like it makes your argument weaker.
Dude, I got some off the pod stuff I want to talk about. So turn it off.
Okay, guys. Hey, we're gonna take a long break. Now, Twitter questions. Our first one comes from @_Tyler OKC. Who wants to know? Who do you think takes over Slob Wizard duties? Do you think we were good at them because of the coaching game plan, or could only do that because of Giddy's passing ability?
It's a good question. Who's going to take over the Slob Wizard duties?
Slobbin.
Jay.
Dub.
I don't know. I think you need
Ooh,
Dub.
Caruso.
You need Dub on the court.
I was going to say, I think it
Yeah.
could be Caruso, who, if you listen to Wednesday, I
Dude, the assist man.
confess that I watched every.
My Wednesday night, I just sat in my house and rewatched all the Alex Caruso clips I could.
I watched every assist that he had for the Bulls last year.
That's a great moment, because Alex is telling the story of he went to a concert
Yeah.
and it just like torrential downpour and all these different things. And Andrew's like, yeah, I sat on my couch and watched all the Alex Caruso assists I could.
So lame.
That's pretty contrasting.
He's a good passer.
Yeah.
I think he's the new Slob Wizard.
Oh yeah, maybe
The Slob Eagle.
Slob Eagle.
Yeah.
Oh
So
He's the bald eagle is his nickname.
yeah, Slob Eagle.
Sideline
What
out
if
of
he's-
bounds
how do you
eagle.
he's because he's shorter than Giddy. Would you agree?
Oh yeah.
He's
Definitely. He's like 3 or 4 inches
and
shorter.
he's
I
bald,
don't
and
agree.
he's bald.
He
bald.
is bald.
So he might be the Slob Schmiegel.
Oh, Slob Schmiegel.
He's
Slob
the-
Schmiegel.
There's not anything that is more like, please don't name me that, than that.
Get the Slav Schmiegel shirts ready, because
It's like Alex Caruso as Smeagol
As
hiding in a
Gollum.
corner,
yep.
just
With a
saying
ball.
my precious over a ball.
He won't. He actually wouldn't throw the ball in.
He just constant 5-second violations.
He just holds it.
Luke, you know an awful lot about it.
Yeah.
I just know Schmiegel.
Yeah.
Really, just
And
know
Schmaug.
and Schmaug. I was just like Schmiegel or Schmaug.
Yeah. I think.
It's something about the
Schmiegel or Schmaug.
Yeah. Caruso is definitely going to be the Slav Schmiegel.
I like that.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So,
Is this Lord of the Rings or basketball?
but basketball.
Okay.
So
Last
Daignault has been like his, probably, if you gave him truth serum, he'd probably say his favorite player on the team is Lou Dort.
I don't know about that, but go ahead.
I mean, he loves Lou Dort.
Yeah.
Like, it's his darling.
He's a Lou guy.
Do you think Caruso, because of their relationship, is going to put some tension in that relationship?
Oh, interesting.
To where all of a sudden his affections are going to be split.
I don't. Mark, like, his superpower as a person is just his ability to relate to people, I think. And so I think he's gonna be fine.
That'd be a terrible superpower. Like X-ray vision, flight, super strength. I can relate to people.
And then
I'm telling you, it is.
Superman punts him to the moon.
It is. He's
But I
Marcus.
I understand why you did this.
But no.
I
see you.
I'll say this. That is a very powerful superpower, Luke. I'm kind of judging you on how much you're hating on it, and it does. I'm kind of wondering about that. You have to be a good lawyer. You have to relate to people.
But he's talking comparatively superpowers.
Superpowers.
Yeah.
Superpowers.
Yeah.
teleportation, invisibility.
I will say this:
super speed.
superpowers don't actually exist, but this does actually exist.
That is kind of the winning argument. Luke, also you smell really nice.
Thanks.
And there's part of me when I smell you, I'm like, man, I hope that's me. I hope I'm on it.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's
not.
not.
It's not
like
me.
death. Yeah,
Ugh.
dude. Golly.
Wow,
That is
wow.
it.
I sprayed some stuff on.
On your wrists?
Yeah, dude.
What do you use?
Schmaug?
Which one is it? This one is
Spraying a little smoke.
Spray a little smaug. Put a little smaug on it.
A little smile going.
No, it's some YSL something. So there it is. Hey, let's get our next Twitter question.
Shout out to Dylan Jones.
Smell me.
Oh, so good.
That smell good.
And that's where you have to put it. Isn't that where you put it right there?
I don't.
Rub
I just
together.
spray it.
You gotta rub together. It gets in your blood.
Smoke.
It gets into your blood.
It's into
I
your
don't want that.
Yeah.
It's into your
If
blood.
you cut me open right now, it smells delicious.
Yeah. Ew.
I would.
Next,
I would love to smell your insides.
next Twitter question
Oh no.
comes from @ZachDeeg, who wants to know who is your least favorite player that has played at least 1 minute for the Thunder?
Kyle Singler. We could do a top 5 power rankings of this.
There's something endearing about Kyle Singler, though. Is there not?
I don't know. Gordon Hayward may be on that list.
Oh, Gordon is definitely on the
Samaj.
list. Yeah, Samaj was not great.
There was something more endearing about Samaj to me than Kyle
Yeah,
Singler.
definitely. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Samaj, I have no personal
But like
beef with.
you had like all the weird stories about Kyle, where he's like float tanking and doing all these like the cupping.
I
Like,
didn't dislike him.
you know what I mean?
I
Like,
just
and
was
he was,
bothered by
he was like a character.
and he
just-
was nice about it, too.
Yes.
He wasn't, like, pretentious about it.
Yeah,
you just
he was
depended on him. The issue is that you just depended on him.
but that's not his fault.
Whose fault would it be? I'm just kidding. So who did you dislike playing for the Thunder?
Honestly, like looking back, I feel resentful to Gordon Hayward.
Yeah.
You know, because like we really did believe in him, and like
But he never
But-
believed in himself.
never believed.
No, he never believed in us.
Yeah, never
it
believed
felt
in us.
personal
Yeah.
against the team and us, the entire community.
He super believed in himself. He did not believe in himself. He super believed in
Yeah,
himself.
that's true.
He needed.
He believed in
to be-
himself so much that he retired immediately after the season.
Yeah.
I
I mean, Reggie Jackson.
Reggie Jackson.
hate watched him. That's true.
We did like him.
We liked him at the time.
In
For a
one
while.
series, that
Yeah,
Grizzlies
the
series,
Grizzlies series, yeah.
and then pretty shortly after, I was very done with him.
Yeah.
Lamb was one of those guys that eventually became that to me because I was just so disappointed.
Yeah.
Expectations, man. That's what
Yeah.
changes it for all
Yeah,
of these guys.
definitely.
Ooh, okay. Here's our next Twitter question. We go to this.
So, somebody in the chat says, I think if the Schwab dog was sold in Lord of the Rings universe,
Ooh.
it would be called the Schmaug dog.
Smoke dog. Smoke dog. Jiggy dog.
Smoke dog. Smoke dog.
Smoke dog.
Man, it's right. That's not wrong. Hey,
Schmeagle.
Shout out to Prodigy Jerry in the chat.
How in the world did all of us know that song? Maybe not Luke, but
I did. Is it?
Swab Dog Dog Diggity Dog.
It's just like you listen to the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse song, very
They don't-
similar.
They don't play it on. They don't play that on.
Hot dog, hot
NPR.
dog, hot diggity dog.
Oh, yeah,
They just say dog a lot. I don't know how. I'm trying to think.
They
Maybe-
both kind of have that.
That just goes hand in hand with hot dogs. That whatever.
the
that
only way you
is,
can
whatever
sing about
that
hot
bop
dogs.
Is, yeah.
It's like you have to be scatting.
Yeah. Yeah. Hot dog.
Hot dogs and
feels like a
scatting.
scat.
It's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wee, ba, 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 da, boom.
Hey guys, our
Hot
next
dog, hot dog.
Twitter question comes from @SnakeShootin',
Squeebity-bitty-wee,
who wants to
hot dog.
know what is your favorite Super Nintendo game you played as a kid? Big Apple, 3 a.m.
Big Apple, 3 a.m.
What is that? What time it is, or is that a
Tonight I
game?
died of dental soup.
No, that's what they say at the very beginning of Turtles in
Turtles
Time.
in Time. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Technodrome. Let's kick
shell. So
Prehistoric
Tantosaurus.
Tantosaurus.
just
what
keep
they
going. Super Nintendo was like the system that is the most absent in my mind when I think about gaming systems.
Absent?
That's good.
Yeah,
Really?
I'm like more Nintendo 64 and then more
Jay.
Sega Genesis.
Wow, really?
Oh, you were a Sega
and
guy.
original.
Oh, you're
Nintendo.
Sega. That makes sense.
That's what happened. to you.
So I played a lot of Altered Beast,
Yeah. I saw someone playing that on TikTok. the
a lot
other
of
day.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic, yeah.
Sonic. Yep. Okay.
Was that all Sega really had? Was Sonic?
They had the Dreamcast.
They also had
Ready to Rumble.
Toe Jam and Earl.
They had the Sega Saturn. I had that.
Yeah.
Sega
Do you-
Saturn.
Picking the Sega Saturn.
Wasn't Sega the first platform to have the 2K games though, or was that cross-platform?
I don't know.
I think it.
Oh.
I think it was.
Because I remember playing like 2K1 with
Yeah.
NFL or 2K.
Yeah,
or something,
yeah.
Maybe the original one.
I had it on PlayStation though.
So maybe not.
My Super Nintendo game is Earthbound. I
Yeah,
love
I remember that,
that.
being your game.
game. I like whenever I'm walking and doing getting my steps in on like the treadmill, still play it. It's on the Nintendo Switch.
Mm.
Love it. And it's great. It turned like I think it turned 30 this
Wow.
year, like a month or two ago, maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
Love it.
Turtles in Time was definitely one of the best ones. Street Fighter 2 was another one on Super Nintendo that we played a lot. I'm trying to think what else.
I don't know. Chrono Trigger.
Chrono
Super
Trigger.
Mario Brothers.
Final Fantasy 3.
Obviously,
Of
like,
course.
I don't know if you guys were
yeah,
big
the Super
Which
Mario,
Mario
game
Brothers
great.
was that though?
Super Mario World.
Super Mario
Yeah.
World, yeah,
Which was
a
good.
great game.
See, the last Mario I remember was Super Mario 3 on the Nintendo,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the original.
where it was yellow and
Yeah.
he's
It was a great
the little
that's
raccoon
also a great
character.
game.
Where it's like
Such a good one. Yeah.
Episode.
Did you know that? Did you? So, Luke, you probably got it. So, on the Switch, if you get like the Nintendo
oh yeah.
membership or
Oh
something,
yeah.
you
get
have
to play
access to
all of them.
like everything Super Nintendo made.
It's awesome. You can go back and just play any game you want, and they have hundreds of games. It's great. They're all free if you do it's like
It's like $10 a month, maybe.
yeah, it's not. I think it's like
So 20
I think
bucks a
it's like-
year actually is what I paid for my
Yeah.
son.
It's not very much.
You guys
It's
put-
awesome.
My son.
My son, you guys played Tiny Toon Adventures Wacky Sports
Yes,
Challenge.
It was good. I liked it. I rented it several times.
That it was a great game. It was a little bit like Mario Party before Mario Party.
Was it?
Yes, because it had mini games. There's all these like mini games that you competed against each other.
I loved games that had mini games.
It was a great game. Tiny.
I had a
Tiny Toon
friend
Adventures.
that was really, really good at was it Dr. Mario? No. What was like the Tetris style game that had pills?
Dr.
Mario.
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 Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Mario.
Wow.
Cool.
Mario MD. Hey, let's go to our next
Oh,
Twitter
Donkey
question.
Kong Country.
Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah.
Donkey
See,
Kong
but was that
was
not
on there.
64?
No, it was
That
not.
was-
There
that
were
was
Donkey
Super
Kong games
Nintendo.
on 64 that were not nearly as good as Donkey Kong Country.
Yes.
It's a great game.
Another. Let me think. I was about to talk.
So
about
here's the
one, but I don't
top.
know what it
This
was.
is just somebody's random list, but the top 100 Super Nintendo games: Super Mario World #1,
Yeah.
Earthbound #2,
Boom.
Chrono Trigger,
Boom.
Mega Man 10, Super Mario All Stars, Donkey Kong Country,
Yeah.
Zelda,
Yeah.
The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, Super Metroid, Top Gear 2, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island,
Oh, Yoshi's Island, so
Yoshi's
good.
Island is
Mario
great.
Kart.
It is great. Yeah. The Mario Kart.
Aladdin. Oh, I played that.
Oh, I had the Aladdin
I played
game.
Aladdin.
The
Okay.
Disney
Yeah.
games. The Disney games on Super Nintendo were very.
Yeah, the
good.
Lion King game.
Yes.
Had the Lion King game.
I think I was just
I have
mistaken.
played the
All the
Aladdin.
ones I'm talking about, I thought were 64, but they're apparently Super Nintendo.
Wait, Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I
Mario
never
Kart was
played
on
it on.
Yeah.
Super
It was.
Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was good.
Played it at Hunter Mankin's house for the very first time.
Shout
Had
out.
a sleepover.
Shout out the Mankins.
Yeah. Shout
We
out.
all know Mankins.
Oh,
They're
dude.
great.
You talk about video game experiences that we probably shared was the
Mhm.
fact that the Jansons were the first
Oh,
ones
yeah.
to have a 64.
The 64.
We
Definitely.
go over there just like playing the jet ski
Yes,
game.
that's the
like
first
Wave
game I
Runner or whatever
yeah.
it was.
Talking about Tiny Toons Adventure, Buster Busts Loose.
That's number
Yeah, that's a
99.
great game.
Number.
Oh, Mortal Kombat was on
Yeah,
Super
Mortal
Nintendo?
Kombat. You had to have been
they
thinking
made
of
the-
Super.
They
Yeah.
made the blood green on the Super Nintendo one, so it wasn't blood.
Oh.
It was just goop.
Super Double Dragon.
Oh,
All right, I'll be back. I
bloody
got
good.
work to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, hop on Nintendo Switch Online and play all of them. Hey, let's go to our next Twitter question. It comes from
Hey.
at Kicks High, who
Oh, Killer Instinct?
Jay.
Do you remember that game?
Jay, this was you.
You talking about
I was so surprised when you were like, "Yeah, this is
I am
something I've
just-
never done before."
I thought they were also Pilot Wings. I played that one.
Come on, Jay.
There was Pilot Wings on 64 of those. Came with it. That was better.
Oh no.
Okay. Hey, at Kicks High wants to know how realistic is it that OKC will have at least one championship banner to hang in the new arena opening projected in 2028?
Ooh, so
Wow.
Good
2025, 26, 27, 28. So 4 years from now.
I don't know if you have 28 though. I think you only have 5, 6, 7 because they said
'Cause-
to hang when it opens in 28.
Wouldn't you spring of 20 or like beginning of the summer of 2028? Wouldn't you hang it in the fall of 2028?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. You know what? Good point. You can have 28.
Oh, Harvest Moon. Oh, that was a great
No,
game.
man.
Phenomenal.
I think.
Okay, so you have 4 years, 4
What-
seasons.
What are the
together.
odds?
What are the odds?
Give me the odds.
I think the odds are.
Is 25%? I feel like 25% is fair
I think it's.
and confident.
I feel good. If everyone's healthy,
Yeah,
I put money on it.
I'm going 39%.
What?
Yeah,
I'm going.
I think I'm going 59%.
59?
I'm going 60.
Why not
I'm
go
going
69?
69.
Yeah.
You're
Whoa.
already there.
Jay.
That was good.
Jay
That
almost
was good
dropped
too,
his
dude. I
drink.
remember that
The
one.
Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse.
Oh yeah,
Great.
I had that one.
Good
Yeah. We're just gonna Taylor. Anyways, yeah. I think they're going to have a really good chance. Think about this. They're already favored in the Western Conference this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They've had one playoff run. Presti has had one offseason to remake the roster. And people are already like, yeah, I think the Thunder are the best team in the Western Conference.
Yeah.
They've had one offseason, basically, to work on the roster.
True. That's very true.
Yeah.
Think about what's going to happen over the course of the next. They get 3 more off seasons before you get to the 2028 season. They're going to be able. They have draft picks. You have the improvement of Chet, J-Dub, and Shea baked in. Somebody else is going to be good. Kaysen Wallace. We don't know what Kaysen's going to be. Kaysen could be really good.
They could set the Oos loose.
Topic could be really good. Oos could be a champion.
He could be Giannis.
Loose.
And we haven't even seen the team with Caruso.
They
We
could
don't-
get. They could get
Exactly.
Giannis.
Yeah, we haven't even
Yeah.
seen them with Caruso and Hardenstein, who are going to help this team a lot. So I just think
I'm with you.
if this is step one in a multi-step tier to get there, and this time around it's different than the first time, where yes, they had a great roster the first time around. They didn't have the assets to actually make the team better. So I'm going 69%.
Boom.
Jay?
I forgot what the question was. I was too busy looking at Super
Jay.
Nintendo.
Goodness. You have been
75%.
wow. 75% chance that they win a championship in the next 4 seasons.
Oh, 85%.
Wow. Yeah, I think
Dude, there's what? They're like literally. That's all the things you said. Like they're coming into this season ready.
they're not even. They're going to have 2 years where they don't even pay the tax, and they're going to be contenders.
Yeah.
Yeah, not even taxes.
And they've got $1 billion draft assets to, if they figure out they have a glaring weakness, like go pull the trigger and find somebody.
Yeah, and then when they get Cooper Flag, because the Clippers are going to just be
Woo,
awful,
baby.
then-
Yeah, I mean, 85 is partially kidding, but I do think it's greater than 50% chance.
I think
Bury
so.
my shell at wounded knee.
I'm saying at 25%.
Okay.
And I feel like that's realistic, and where the rest of you are not being that realistic.
Listen.
about how hard it is to actually win a championship.
Listen. No one else is this good. I'll say that. No one else is this good.
Are you talking about yourself?
I'm talking about me.
No one else is listen. No one else is this good.
I'm talking about the team. I just think that no one else has built a team like this and used this strategy before and carried it through. And they already have the pieces that you'd want. Like, what do you want? You want a top flight guard who's like
Did
the number one
Celtics do
guy.
it?
Not like this. Not like this.
Okay.
Not
No,
like
they
this.
added the best 2 role players possible for the way this team wants to play. Like it's the best fit the Thunder have ever had in their organization's history.
Period. And like the best depth too.
Yep.
Guys, are you miffed and are you peeved?
I gotta say, miffed and peeved.
This is unrelated, but I was going to bed and watching Seinfeld last night.
Oh man, I do that almost every night.
And it's where Fox, Seinfeld, 11 to midnight.
Yeah.
Those 2 episodes, always great. But what they did is it's the episode where Jerry's girlfriend is talking to him about he doesn't get mad.
Yeah.
And he's talking, and the first thing he says, he goes, I get peeved. I get miffed.
Oh, really?
The first thing he says. So we might look for it as a drop.
Wow.
It's the first thing he says. He goes, I get mad. He's just like, you don't get mad. He goes, I get peeved. I get miffed.
Really?
Yeah. I was
That's
watching it and I was
awesome.
like, huh, I like that.
Take a little mental note.
Also, an idea. This is not really miffed or peeved, but just if there's a time when the Thunder are losing like bad to a team, a good drop if we were like watching it is they're eating the dogs from the debate.
Amazing.
They're eating the dogs.
Because
Because
we're dogs.
Because we're
dogs.
dogs.
Yeah. They're eating
Like-
the
So
dog.
that's
I'm not miffed
that's a
and peeved.
really good. So you said that would be a good drop to play when we're watching a game.
watching it live, but now we need to start watching it
Okay,
live.
so we need to start
and
doing drops
live
when
drops.
we watch them
Are y'all miffed and peeved?
live.
I mean, of course.
You got sabotaged.
Sabotage. I haven't figured out how yet, but I'm gonna get to the bottom of this.
Wow.
Someone sabotage.
Andrew, you got any
me this morning.
appliance issues?
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. We got parts coming in for my
Oh, for what?
refrigerator and dryer. Luckily, still under warranty.
Yeah, that's good.
Are both on the fritz?
It's my ice maker. Needs replaced. So we got-
How for years,
Mhm.
years, how do you always have something that's wrong with one of your appliances?
I don't know. I guess I'm just that lucky. I don't know.
It's weird, right? I think
No.
someone's sabotaging your appliance. I think you have
I
an
just think I'm
appliance
the, I
troll.
listen. I just think people aren't talking about it.
I think they get a
I
lot
think
of
people-
they get a
I'm
lot
the
of
only
wear
one
and tear.
brave
is
enough
what's
to talk
happening.
about it.
It's a lot of wear and
They
tear. on
have a
your
lot of wear and tear.
appliances.
3 kids. I mean, you're watching
A lot of ice coming out of
time.
that thing.
Ice
There's a
coming
lot
out
of
of
ice.
time.
We're
And
making so much ice.
It's good you survived the summer
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
true.
because that's when you're using the most
true.
ice.
Dropped my watch, broke it.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
no.
That's
Is that a
really
new one?
bad. Why are you even
No,
wearing
no,
that?
no. I'd have a piece of tape over it so I don't accidentally cut anyone or myself.
You okay, buddy?
Listen,
A lot going on.
no,
no,
no, not okay. I'm getting a new one though. I got to ship this. Got to ship this back. It's still under warranty still.
Warranty.
You're the warranty god.
Hey, you gotta. Hey, you gotta use it. Should have warranty. God.
What a nickname.
And just like warranty god.
My superpower is warranties.
His superpower is knowing that how
Once
long
again,
his
horrible.
warranties are.
Horrible superpower.
But good.
Oh man, you
because
miffed
it's
and
real.
peeved?
No.
It's good for me now.
Yeah.
Embiid?
Nobody's better than this.
Nobody is better than this with warranties.
Stuff I can't talk about. But we'll
Okay.
just go ahead.
All right, all right.
Jay, you miffed? Come on, I know you're miffed.
No, not abnormally.
People that did you read the YouTube comments from last week? You'd be pretty miffed.
No, I didn't read the
Did you
YouTube
read
comments. That is not a place to exist in.
You read the DMs I got. It was great.
Did you read the DMs that Luke got?
I didn't know there was this much AI hate.
They're out there.
They're out there. Hey,
There is.
Down to Dunk Night, November 8th. The link is in the chat right now. I'll put it in the chat again for those
Friday night.
for everybody that's waking up with
In
Down to
November.
Come on,
Dunk.
Montel.
Friday night.
Oops, I almost put the YouTube link of Jerry Seinfeld in the chat instead.
Yeah. Check it out.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, Down to Dunk Night. Get your tickets. Be there
Hey,
or be
you
square.
can't show up late and leave early.
Yeah, that's not okay. All right. Hope you guys
Nobody's
have a great
better than this.
have a great weekend. We'll talk to you guys again on Monday.